Hey guys! Welcome to the studio. Real quick, I'm going to turn on my Wi-Fi. Sorry, I should have done this before I hit play, but I want to make sure my Wi-Fi gets on first because it'll be much more stable than my data recently. So we're on Wi-Fi and we are live in the studio. We're going to be doing some snowflakes today. We're going to try to take our snowflake game up a level. And we're going to talk through just 3 tips that I have for you that will hopefully help you to up your game on snowflake cutting. So we adore, get my paper, we adore snowflake cutting here, you guys, because it's such an easy activity, right? Not a lot of fancy supplies, just some paper and some scissors. You can do it pretty much anywhere. It's relatively clean. I'm not messy at all because, you know, it does leave a pile of paper shreddings everywhere you go. But at least it's easy to clean up, right? Just a vacuum or even a broom and you can get it all picked up. So I've got with me today a pair of nice sharp scissors and a stack of computer paper because I think this is the easiest to work with. You don't want a really thick, heavy paper. Even construction paper can be too thick for when you're folding it. So I like typing paper or printer paper, a really lightweight drawing paper, not a really heavy-duty drawing paper, because when you fold it, we want it to fold nice and flat on those creases. If you fold something that's too thick or too chunky, it's hard to cut through, honestly. Okay, so I've got my tips written down. I'm gonna make sure I've got them here so that I can stay somewhat organized. Okay, and we're gonna cut some snowflakes. So this snowflake here is probably what most of our kids cut. And we're gonna talk about how to get from this to this with like 3 easy tips, okay? The first tip is going to be that we're going to aim for a 6-sided snowflake. This one's kind of boxy, right? And it doesn't have defined points, okay? So we're gonna try to get a 6-sided snowflake, and I'm gonna show you how to fold that, okay? Because that simple trick is going to level you up. Ready? Got my plain sheet of typing paper, and the first thing I need to do is make it a square. So to make it a square, I'm gonna fold my corner over, nice and flat. And if you watched our Christmas tree folding video, this was the first step in the Christmas tree video. All right, see? It's got that flap right there. And then we're gonna cut this extra part off. All right. If you also watched my Christmas tree video, you saw that I really like to use a pen for my creases. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? That paper tree video? That was so fun. I think you could still make those because, I mean, evergreens is a very winter, and it's definitely winter. It's definitely winter. They're calling for more snow this week, you guys. Excited. Okay, here's my triangle. Okay, so that's all we did. We've got a square. If you already had square paper, then you don't have to do that step. So you're gonna fold it into a triangle, and then we're gonna go ahead and fold that point over into a smaller triangle. And just like in any paper folding, like the origami trees that we made, or you want to make sure that your corners are really lined up and that your creases are nice and flat. So that's what I was using the pen for. You don't have to. You could use your fingernails or your fingers, okay? So that's pretty easy. Most of us start our, whoops, I dropped my pen. Come here. There it is. Most of us probably start our snowflakes like this, and then the next step that you probably would do is one more triangle, but we're not going to do that. What we're going to do is we're actually going to take this triangle and we're going to fold it into thirds, okay? So this one's going to fold over a little bit, and then this one's going to fold over a little bit, and we're going to get it into thirds. Now that can be kind of tricky when you make this first fold to try to understand how far over do you go and at what angle, okay? So what you're looking for is I'm going to just kind of see if I can hold it so you can see it. And it's probably going to be some trial and error for you. You want this shape right here to be the same as this shape over here. And that's how you know you've hit the midpoint, okay? And I like to go, we'll see if I can get it on the first time. I like to go just a little bit like shy of that midline because I know when I fold it back over itself, we've already got like 4 layers of paper here, so we got to kind of compensate for that fold. So let me crease that really good and I'll hold it up. Okay, so I tried to find the midpoint here so that this right here and this space right here is about the same. And we'll see if I did it, because if I did, this edge here should line up perfectly with this edge. Okay, it's real close. I'm going to go ahead and go just a little bit further on this fold. Okay, crease it really good, and I'm going to hold it up to the camera so you guys can see. Look at that. It looks like an airplane or an arrow. Okay, this is what it looks like on this side. You can see it's just folded over once, and on the back side we've got the line here and the line there. Okay, everybody with me so far? We all good? If we were to open it up, we've got this. Boom. Right? Over, over. See how we got it into thirds? Yeah? Okay. So this point here and this point here, those are going to be our star points. So those are going to be the 6 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if we're making a 6-sided snowflake, this is how we fold it. Okay? Because it'll give us 1 point, 2 point, 3 point, 4 point, and we open it up and we've got 2 more on this side. That's how we get 6. Everybody got that? So if you cut this straight across, you'll have a beautiful, like, circle-ish 6-sided shape. It's not really a circle. What's a 6-sided shape called, guys? Yeah, should look that up before we started filming. Regardless, we're not making that, so it doesn't matter. Okay, we're going to cut so that we've got points here. And I'm going to take mine. You can do it any way you want, but I'm going to go ahead and just chop this off. We open it up. I'm going to show you what it looks like. We'll fold it back up, but I kind of want you to see what we got going on. See? It's a 6-sided shape. Everybody got me? Let's see if I can get it back folded up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here we go. Okay? I'll have to write up these directions and put them in the comments. Okay? So that is tip number 1, is we're not making a square-ish snowflake. We're making one that has 6 points, or in this case it has 12, because I cut it, in a V shape and it made 12 points. Okay? Sound good? Yeah? All right, so this is the point. Unfold it so you can see that. This is the point. Everybody got me? All right, so we're going to, in tip number 2, make sure we remove the middle. If you notice on this one, if we fold it, this is tip number 2. So tip number 1 was make a 6-sided snowflake. Tip number 2 was remove the middle. The problem with this that makes this look kind of grade school-ish is that it's got a lot of white space here in the middle, right? They basically only took bites out of the edge of their shape. We want to take bites out of the middle of our shape. So that way, and I can't even fold these back up, guys, but maybe I can fold this one up. Let's see. Maybe. Depends on if I can get it all lined up. Maybe not. Oh, almost. It's a lot going on. Almost. Kind of. Nah, we won't even bother. Okay, we need to get the middle part cut out. And short of having a hole punch where we can punch through it, the easiest way to do that is to cut from the edge and make sure we remove a piece in here. Okay, so we don't want to take a big chunk out necessarily, but we want to come in, make sure it stays folded. Okay, so we're going to come in all the way. We can't go all the way across or it will just cut our snowflake off. Okay, and turn the corner and then come back out. So what I did was I got into this middle part. Okay, so I'm going to do it again. Maybe we'll remove this little part in here. Okay, Our other tip, we're kind of doing two at the same time. We want to get into the middle. The other tip, and probably the best tip, is to make sure that you have good balance, stick with me here, between your positive and your negative space. Okay? Do you know what positive and negative space is, y'all? The positive space in our snowflake is the white paper. The negative space in our snowflake is everything that we've removed. And we want our snowflake to be balanced, which means that we remove almost 50% of our snowflake, if not a little bit more. Okay? So we have removed a good percentage of this little triangle. We don't have any big areas of white, right? We maybe have a little bit too big of an area of cutout, but we'll see what it looks like in here. Okay, so that's part of our balance component, is to make sure that we don't have any big areas of white in our snowflake. Maybe we can remedy this one. See how big of areas we've got of white space? Okay. How could we fix that? Any thoughts? Can we get in here and cut some of that out? Let's find out. I'm going to cut in from the bottom. Make sure you can see. Let's try to do it in one cut without cutting through something. I like to cut these kind of snake-like shapes because it's easy to control and it comes out right where it came in. Check it. So we've now removed some of that white space. We've also got good consistency of our white lines, right? They're about the same thickness everywhere. So this thickness here, from here to here, is about the same as from here to here, is about the same as the negative space where my eyeball is from here to here. Okay, we still got some space up here, so let's cut some of that out. Where should we enter from? I'm going to enter from the back side. So let's see if we come up here. Okay. Pull that out. Good sharp scissors are your friend. Yeah? Now we've removed some of that space. We don't have those big white spaces anymore, right? Let's see what happens if we open it up. Gotta flatten it out. Much better as a snowflake, right? You want to see the one that we cut on camera? This one here? See if we get it. All right, so we've got a good balance between our positive and our negative space, right? This one here, that is maybe a little bit too thick on that white space. So if we wanted to fix that, it's always hard to fold it back up, but we'll see if we can do it. And the more you cut out, the harder it is. I don't know. It may not work. Oh, I got it. All right, in order to fix that, that's this part right here, if we don't lose it, we're going to go ahead and take our scissors and maybe let's remove like a little bit of this, like a sliver. So see that? All I did was cut in just a little bit, right? And then let's make our outside a little bit more interesting. Let's give it some scallops or some teeth. This is where it gets really messy when you're taking out the little things, because look at this. It just kind of flies everywhere. There's no controlling it. It's like a party. Okay. Open her up. Let's see what we did. Ooh, see, now there's not nearly. Remember, this was the one that we started with that kind of square shape, and we just tried to work to fix it. So this right here, that hole where my finger is, that's what we just cut out. And you can see how much that chunky, that heaviness kind of lifted. We've got a much lighter snowflake than when we started. Anybody have any questions so far? You want to see how to make the points? Let's do that. I'll show you how to make the points. Oops, I already got one started. Yeah, here's our thirds trick, right? So we're going to fold over a third and over a third until we get that arrow shape. I'm going to do it down here because it's a lot easier than folding up in the air. And nobody wants to sit here and watch me struggle with trying to get it folded, right? Use my pen to straighten out my crease. Make sure it's nice and flat so that it cuts easier. Keep our sides together. Okay. All right, so our points are going to be right here. And if you want to make, where to go? These guys, these points, what you have to do is you have to cut into the middle. Okay, so we'll do that real simply, and I'll show you what that looks like. We're going to do a real simple and quick one. If I want my points to be balanced, they need to have kind of symmetry to them. You see the symmetry that happened on this side and this side? It's not perfect, but it's somewhat symmetrical. So if I were to open this up, you've got kind of a flower point. Okay. If we want to make it a little bit fancier, right, we can cut out of that. So if I take and I cut a bite of a triangle out of that, and we'll stick with our kind of our symmetry here. And we'll do the same thing on both sides. So there's one little triangle. I'll take a bite out of this one. Okay. And then since these are so fun, let's go ahead and make them hollow. So we'll take and we'll make a little hole in these top little parts because it's a folded edge. If we take it and we cut a circle, ovalish, heartish shape out of it, right? That will give us a holy shape there. Here we go. Like that out, just like that, okay? So top edge is done. We've kind of defined the shape. We get down in here into this white space. We know we need to fill it with some holes, right? We need to go ahead and dig out some of that negative space. We need to decide whether we want the inside of our snowflake to be solid, like this one, or if we want it to have a shape in the middle, like this one. If you remove the point, that's what gives us that shape. So let's go ahead and stick with kind of the star theme. So I do it on an angle, and it's going to give me a star shaped. You can also do a V shape, and it'll give you, like this one was a V, has lots of different points to it. Okay. Now, when I cut out my middle, I can't go across, because if I do, it just chops my snowflake in half. But I want to make sure that this width right here, in the positive space that I have going on, that width is replicated in all of the positive space down here. So as I think about removing negative space, I have to think about what positive space I am leaving. So I'm going to kind of follow the path that's left for me here. And you could just play with different shapes. I'm going to try to stick to something kind of symmetrical for a second. I like this star thing that's happening. I rarely have a plan, you guys, when I'm cutting snowflakes. It's all trial and error. But if you've got the kind of the basic method, very rarely go wrong. We've got this kind of star shape, right? And I just followed along it without meeting in the middle because that would chop it in half. But I just kind of followed it, and then we'll do something fun down here. Let's see, what should we do? Kind of abandon our symmetry at this point. Let's go up from the bottom. So we'll follow the angle of our cut that we made on the point. Come up from the bottom. And then we'll follow the side. And then at this point, I'm going to just alternate sides. So I'm going to switch and cut from this side now And again, we'll kind of follow the angles, keeping the positive space, the white part, about that same distance. What is that, like 1/4 of an inch? I'm cutting kind of these L shapes out. I like how they repeat. Okay. We'll do one more on this side. Only an L isn't going to fit there, so let's just cut a heart. Of course, in this, since we're on a fold, it's going to be half a heart. I'll try to make it kind of match the angle. Let me show you. Try to make it match the angle of everything else. So there's a little heart shape. Let's open her up. See what it looks like. All of our L shapes became U shapes. Can you see that? And our half heart became a whole heart. Always be careful opening these up, you guys, because you don't want to, they kind of catch on each other and you don't want them to rip. Let's place it down, flatten it, and then I'll lift it up for you. So there we go. So now we've created one of those snowflakes that has the points on it. And your points could have gone even deeper. Remember we cut that little star shape? It could have gone even deeper so that these points are, you know, on their own and not connected, as long as they're connected in the middle. Just be careful if you do that because it becomes even trickier to open up. Okay. Sound good? We got some fun snowflakes happening? Yeah, this one here. Let's see what else. This one here. They look so pretty hanging in windows. Give it a shot today, okay, you guys? So 3 tips. Fold a 6-sided instead of a squarish one. All right. Make sure you're cutting into the middle and not leaving all of that white space. And focus on your positive and negative space and balance between the two. And you'll be good, I promise. I'll chat with you later. Bye, guys.